evening, everybody, and welcome to Midnight's Monsters Beyond the Dark. Special edition, vampires and vampire cults, and you won't believe the connections we've made tonight. Okay, while we're waiting for my brother Dennis to come on, Mr. Vampire Hunter himself, extraordinaire, demonologist, author, all-around great guy. Hopefully he'll get on here quicker now that I commented on him like that. Anyways, let's go through the copyright disclaimers and all that, and get through the introductions and stuff for the podcast. So this channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use Act. Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel and all the podcasts on channel, including William Nighthawk, myself, declare fair use of any and all content, that's any and all content, including the music, to be used for the sole purposes of criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge only per Title 17 USC subsection 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. Okay, that being said, let me get that off of there. And how many of you actually saw Mitch McConnell freeze up about a week and a half ago, right in the middle of a well, not even in the middle. He didn't even get started in the news conference. A lot of people say it was a stroke or something like that. How many people have seen the information lately on the president not being the president, that it may be a latex skin mask that he's wearing, okay? And they point out several things and differences in like his earlobes and all that, and his hairline and all that. My reason for bringing that all up, how we doing, Dennis?
All right, sir. Is this the Nighthawk podcast marathon?
Yeah, it is actually. It is a marathon, isn't it? Better get it out there while the getting's good. Is what
we need to. Hey, we need to be raising money here if we're having a marathon. We need to be raising some money here.
Yeah. Anyways, vampires.
I've got my neck. I've got my neck protection on tonight, just in case. Okay, because the subject we're going to be on is kind of dangerous.
Kevlar? Is it Kevlar?
Oh yeah.
Is your neck?
I've got it's protecting the neck there, yes sir. And just to back it up, I've got holy water. Okay. Okay.
All right. Good. Well, you're good. You're good.
Right, yeah.
So I got me a silver knife and a wooden stake sitting here, so I'm pretty good.
Yeah, good.
I've done a lot of research and investigations lately, and I think this is probably the most fascinating, informative road that I've been down, or should I say rabbit hole I've been down. There is so many things that can tie into this whole phenomena of vampirism. You can link demons with it. You can link aliens with it. You can link, elitist with it, satanic cults with it. It all connects, okay? It's all parallels when it comes to vampires and vampire cults. And I use that term cults very liberally because it's more than just vampirism that we're talking about here, okay? It's more than just demons that we're talking about here. It's more than just humanity that we're talking about here that's being abused by all of it. In a little bit, just to go through some information. And yes, I got my whiteboard here with some information on it for you. But you know, we've seen things about the satanic cults in Hollywood. Okay, we've seen things about the connection to the demonics that Hollywood has, that the elitists have, that the cabal has, the Klaus Schwabs have, the Rockefellers. You know, just it goes on and on and on. The Rothschilds, you know, BlackRock, it's all connected, okay? And they say when you follow the money, you can follow it, you know, all the way to the end. And I think I did not only that, but I also followed it through blood, okay? And what I did, anybody that knows me knows that I'm big into these shapeshifters, okay? I've always investigated and researched shapeshifters, okay? Because in ceremony, I was literally one of them, okay? So doing the black magic and stuff, the Native American stuff. So I've got a little bit of a background and knowledge in this area. So I started researching it a while back, and I've been on my my phone, my computer. I've been out and in the world and just trying to talk to people and witnesses and stuff like that. And I think I got it hammered down. I think I've actually got it figured out. Um, and sadly to say, I know I've said this 100 times before, but we are all nothing but cattle. Okay. We are all nothing but cattle. Okay. We are adrenochrome blood induced comatic states of frenzy to reptilians, to vampires, and to the Satanist cults, okay? Because they all are after adrenochrome, okay? They are all after the blood and the adrenochrome. They all drink it, okay? They drain your children of it by inducing severe fear into their bodies to make them produce adrenochrome. That's why we have more children that are turning up missing than adults right now. But there are adults.
William, that fear is what makes adrenochrome. Actually, is what the fear, and that's why they put fear into these children, especially because that makes the adrenochrome what they seek. And as you know, the Bible clearly says the blood is the life. And that is so very true. And here's one more aspect that we need to talk about tonight, and that is the fact that not only are they draining blood and adrenochrome, but they're actually draining life essence out of people when they do this. They're taking their soul essence out of them as well.
Well, I'm gonna blow some people's minds tonight, okay? Because I've actually got it to a point where I'm just gonna show it to you. Okay, we have aliens, we have reptilians, and we have demons. Okay, all three. All right. Consider that the vampiric grandstand. Okay. They all control the UN and NATO and every government you can think of through the shadows. Okay. And through finances. Okay. That's how they can get to you and me and our children and our grandchildren, okay? They want world domination of all humans for adrenochrome and for food, okay? Now, they're doing it through fires, wars, blackouts, missing children, earthquakes, floods, hurricanes. They're inducing so much fear into our children and to our young people that adrenochrome is being manufactured every second of our days. Okay. Now, with that being
We've got to
said,
realize this too, William, and we need to say this at the outset here. We need to say this. Who's the number one person that disappears? It's not usually grown people as much as what? Children.
Yeah, it's children. Yeah.
They're the number one target.
You know, and they're still
the number one target.
Yeah, and they're still they're still looking for over 2,000 children in Maui from the wildfires that are still missing to this day. That are still missing. And I'm sorry, but bodies don't burn up to the point to where they're completely gone. Okay, there would be some kind of dental records or something to make sense of what happened to those children. But there were a group of individuals that uncovered underneath Maui that there are, in fact, there is a underground, basic, like underground tunnel system under Maui, and that they believe that that's how these children were ushered out under the device of, an emergency, taken away from their families, and have not been seen from again.
And the number one demonic reptilian alien location is what? Tunnel systems. We know they use those and they utilize them, and they're always close by. I'm going to tell you something about the reptilians and the demons and the aliens, whatever name you want to give them. They always stay close by tunnel systems. Most all the time, I'm going to say 90% of the time, they never leave the vicinity, the close by vicinity of these tunnel systems. Why? Because that's where their main bases are. That's where their main thoroughfare is. That's where their main location is, underground, without a doubt. Now, and here's something else we need to consider tonight too, William. These demons, aliens, they don't need cults. They are tools that they use. The cults themselves, they utilize those to get the use out of human beings. Okay, they're using that. Not only that, but they're connecting up with these humans who have sold out to them, that are on their side, that are helping them, are complicit with them. And they're part of the cult thing. That's what that's all about. The actual demons and all that, they don't need a cult. They don't need a cult. You understand what I'm saying? That way.
Yeah. Now there is something to be said about the elites in Hollywood, and there was an investigation I did that went down the rabbit hole with Christopher Walken. And I don't know if some of you know who that is, but he is a very well-known actor. He plays a lot of the bad, demonic type guys and characters, the bad angels like Lucifer, or the a demon, or something evil. He's always playing something evil.
He was also on the boat the night that Natalie Wood disappeared too, by the way. He was also on that ship.
Yes. And I believe Natalie Wood died, and that her husband tried to cover it up, was in too deep.
And there was talk about Natalie exposing some of the things going on in Hollywood, and that's why she got snuffed out.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing that we've got to consider. Okay. After they drain the adrenochrome and all that from children, okay, and young adults, Okay. And like Ozzy Sue just said in the chat, they do grind the body, the meat up from the body and make it into sausage and hamburger patties and all that. And, they eat it themselves. And they also, believe it or not, I have linked a very well-known fast food restaurant. Maybe not all of them, but certain ones that are owned by certain individuals are putting those children's processed body parts on the menu, and people don't even realize that's what they're eating.
Did you get to look up the cannibal recipes online? The recipes they have for fixing human meat to eat. You can find it on the internet. There are plenty of them on there. Recipes to consume human flesh. What's going on with that, William? That's not good. I mean, let's look at the big picture here for a moment. And Hollywood's involved in a lot of this stuff too. And one of the biggest cults in Hollywood, by the way, is Scientology. And we could do one show alone on just Scientology, okay? Believe me, it's really way out there. But anyway, what's going on with this? They're slowly giving out, and I'll be talking about this on my Demonology Today show next week, the secret code of Hollywood. They're slowly conditioning us to accept these things, William.
Exactly. But we don't have to. We do have an ability to fight back. But that being said, Christopher Walken and people like the big O lady, and the stone guy, the wrestler, the Rock, there's several others. There's Keanu Reeves. There's several others that are involved in this type of stuff. And we see their pictures all the way back in history, or their lookalikes, their familiars. Okay, they're doppelgangers, if you want to call them that are back in history 400 or 500 years. Making them several hundred years old. Okay. We see it all the time. Okay. Even the Barack Obamas have pictures of being an Egyptian prince, back in the day. So
let me say something about that. Let me say something about this demonic doppelgangers. Okay. And we haven't ever talked that much about this, but there's another aspect of the doppelganger, and we need to mention that tonight since you brought that up. Certain people who practice the dark arts or are involved in that can actually send their doppelganger out. It looks like them, but it is an evil personification of them. Okay, it's not really them, but it's an evil personification of them. That's a demonic. That's a demonic doppelganger, by the way. Okay.
Well, what we used to call them in the black arts, and what we used to call them, and what I used to call them, is fletchings. We would send out our fletchings to terrorize people, certain people. And the fletching could take any form. It could take the form of a scarecrow with red eyes. It could take the form of a dog man with red eyes. It could take the form of a Bigfoot with red eyes.
Or it can look like them.
Of a giant thunderbird.
It can also look like the person is sending it out too, by the way. That's the demonic doppelganger thing. And that's why we may be seeing a lot of this, William. We may be seeing a lot of this going on in Hollywood and don't realize it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's more to this than meets the eye, too. When there was a party that was held by Christopher and several of his cult members in Los Angeles, and one of the actors had never met him before, and this actor described Christopher Walken's entrance into this party as being supernatural in nature, that he literally floated out of a window off of a balcony and floated up to the rooftop of this party, just like a vampire would be floating across the sky. Okay, landed down onto the roof of the building. Okay, and this actor, this well-known actor, was terrified because of what he just witnessed. That this
well, they have those powers. That's what they
just did.
That's what they're hooking up with the demonic for, William, to have those kind of powers, the supernatural powers. Yeah.
It turns out that his cult is a vampire cult. Okay, so not only is he demonic in nature, but he's also a vampire in nature. So he's got
I consider
double whammy to wanting the.
I consider the vampire. The vampire is basically demonic anyway. Okay, it is a true vampire is a demonically reanimated dead body. Okay, but there are living vampires as well. This is what you're talking about. There are living vampires that have that power. It is a demonic power that they have. Okay. That's why you got a lot of this supernatural activity going on around these people. I remember there was a Hollywood party, and I'm not going to call any names in this, okay? But there was a supposed Hollywood party that took place in a house in a canyon out somewhere in Los Angeles, where the whole party was nothing but people in this party moving things around the room with their mind. They were playing supernatural games. Okay. Yeah. That's what you got going on here. You've got the hookup with the demonic, big time.
Exactly. And the one thing that they're after is literally, then you put the whole alien, and I've always said, what, there are shapeshifters. Okay, not every shapeshifter should be classified as a skinwalker. Okay, I know what a skinwalker is firsthand. Okay?
Yeah.
I've been there, done it. I know that. Okay, not every shapeshifter is a skinwalker. Vampires are shapeshifters. Okay, demons.
All supernatural creatures have that ability. Okay? All supernatural creatures have the ability to shapeshift. Yeah. Most all of them. Yeah.
Yep.
That's one thing about it.
But I want to show.
But let me tell you this.
Picture here.
RCC brings up a good, interesting point about the cloning. Let me say this.
I'll show everybody a picture here. What I mean.
Go ahead.
I want to show everybody a picture of what I mean. Okay. Now, this right here is an alien, but it's also an alien vampire. This is a 3D drawing of a witness's account of what they experienced from an alien visit. This thing screams out vampire just by its looks. Okay. It also screams out demon by its looks. It looks demonic.
Well, so when you get to the imagery of the demons, William, they look grotesque like that. They look very much like the gargoyles to that extent. Look at that whole thing. It looks like a living gargoyle, so to speak, in the way that's it. There's another good picture I've seen these pictures before, definitely. That's supposed to be an actual photograph of one. But I was going to say this about the cloning right quick. When you talk about this aspect, you got to remember too that there is a demonic science at work here, or alchemy, whatever you want to tag it with. And you can be sure without doubt that this dark science, this demonic science, is definitely into cloning, but not in a good way. Definitely not in that good way. That is your typical pictures of these vampire spirits that are inhabiting things These vampire spirits are very dangerous because, like I said before, it's not just biting you and sucking your blood out. It is taking that life essence out of you, feeding off of you, just like you would suck an orange dry, or whatever the situation may be. That's what they're doing, and they can do this psychically as well, not just physically, but psychically as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna shock everybody too, though. I'm gonna shock everybody. I actually found out that black-eyed children are part vampiric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always said that because of that need to be invited in is a definite clue, definitely to their true nature.
Vampiric. Now, anytime you see there, I'm gonna show everybody two symbols. Okay, two symbols to be on the lookout for whenever there is missing people around. Okay, or cattle mutilations. Okay, yes, I said cattle mutilations because these vampiric cults, and whether they're alien, reptilian, or vampiric in nature, are using the cattle to throw off investigations into what's going on and who's doing the mutilations. Okay.
And there is some evidence, William, that they're using.
That's why
they're using cattle mutilations to cover up human mutilations.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah. But here is two symbols to be on the lookout for, everybody. And what I mean by this is if you know there's an area in the country or where you live where there's like a neighborhood or something where there's several people coming up missing quite often, look for these symbols, okay? And I will show you right now.
And we've talked about that before, William. These symbols are how they communicate too. These secret symbols they have. That's a definite vampire symbol right there, definitely. And also, look at the one that looks like the V with a little mark through it. If you turn it upside down, guess whose symbol that is? Asmodeus.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So what you have here is the V with the circle around it means that it's a vampire safe location. Okay.
Uh-huh.
What you have with the circle around the V with the line through it is a vampire feeding area.
Uh-huh.
Okay, which means they have fed there and it's safe to feed there. Okay, so that's what you look for in certain neighborhoods or in certain areas of the country that there's a lot of people missing. And what I mean by people missing is they're going to be snagging homeless people, okay, for the most part. Okay, they're going to be snagging children. They're going to be snagging drug addicts. Okay, they're going to be snagging prostitutes. Okay, all kinds of people.
Look at the homeless populations in the big cities. That's where you find the vampire cults operating mostly. Because look at all the free food. Yeah, they got it anytime they want, and nobody will be the wiser.
Yep.
Makes sense when you think about it.
This is information that I think really needs to get out there. Okay, we need to make sure everybody knows what to look for. It would probably be good for everyone to even have a little something of protection on them at all times. Because we're not just talking vampires. Okay, we're talking the demonic. We're talking vampires, demonic. We're talking evil humans, evil satanic cult humans. Okay, we're talking
it's evil.
Aliens.
No matter which way you look at it, we're talking evil. Yeah. We're talking evil. Yeah, it's evil. That's the umbrella of evil over it. You might as well say that. That's what it is. And people need to realize this and how much more dangerous this world has become. more so than we could ever
Yep.
possibly really imagine sometimes. And we need to start thinking about our own personal safety and the safety of our families as well. That's something we can do.
Yep.
We can't, you and I can't go out and protect the whole city, but we can start with our families, ourselves and our
Yep.
families. That's where it starts. Yep.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you all where to look for these symbols. Okay, these symbols aren't going to be directly out in the open. Okay, they're going to be off somewhere above eye level or below eye level in a shadowed area. You'll find them around abandoned buildings, abandoned homes, abandoned hospitals. This V symbol, look for this V symbol around hospitals. And what I mean by that is they've got to store their blood somewhere, okay, and their adrenochrome. There are
And you know
hospital
these
systems in our nation, in the
yeah.
world, that are working with these people, these beings.
They're on the
Okay,
inside, you might
they
say. They're on the inside.
yeah, there is
And
you'll know the hospital systems because they will have a symbol like the V in their logo. Okay,
logo,
it'll
yep.
look like a V in their logo. And if you notice, remember Pizzagate? Remember Pizzagate?
Yep. Yep. Remember
Pizzagate's
the symbol in
logo
that, yeah.
was,
Mm-hmm.
was a V, was the shape of a piece of pizza, a V.
And you know what?
Okay.
The V will sometimes be accompanied, William, by, of course, a pentagram, usually upside down pentagram. That will also accompany it. And if you look at the V, it is actually part of a
Yep.
pentagram. If you look at it that way, that's where they get it. See this, all the symbolism, and we've talked about this before, is a secret code for these guys. Okay, keep your eyes open, people. Know what you're looking at and why you're seeing it. These is a secret language that they have going on with that. You know, now that's your human
Yep.
mutilation there, definitely. And if you'll notice, every one of those people
Yep.
that you see in that picture are young people.
Yep. They're not old, that's for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Yep.
Good evening, Red
And it's
Bill.
not just that. It's there's several different
Mm-hmm.
types of people they look for. And like I said, they're gonna home in on take themselves out of society as a whole and want to just disappear, like your drug addicts, your prostitutes, your homeless,
Mm-hmm.
you know, your orphaned children. Orphanage or another one is another place to look for that
Oh
symbol
yeah,
of the V's.
orphanages.
Okay.
Yeah, children's hospitals, stuff like that.
Yep. Any place you find that V, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can coordinate it with animal mutilations. Okay, you can coordinate it with missing people, and I guarantee if you have animal mutilations and missing people and unsolved murders where blood was drained, you're going to find vampire cults. Okay, now when I say vampire cults, you've got to remember I'm saying demons, vampires, and aliens and evil humans. Okay, those are what is involved. Okay, it's not just vampires. Okay,
You got to put aside that Hollywood image of the vampire that people have got built up. You know, you got to realize what we're talking about here is a different type of a vampire. You know, they don't. You know, they can operate just like you and I can. They can operate in daylight. They can do things and all. So you got to put aside that Hollywood image. Okay, forget about that. This is a whole different breed here. But like I said, there are
yep.
demonic vampires. There are human vampires. There are true vampires out there that are the living dead. and so on. You've got different types. Then you've got the human, I call them the goth vampires. The young people that love that lifestyle, they're into that goth vampire stuff. So you've got different types of these vampiric entities out there, okay?
Here is a Washington Post article that Shane and I have dug up about the mutilations being found of animals, and
around
being
these
drained of blood.
Around these big cities, you're going to see a lot of that. Like I said, wherever there's congregations of the homeless, that's free food for these guys. That's a food source right there. That nobody's going to miss them much. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it goes. But out in the far rural areas, like where the horses and cattle are, they can operate out there in secret as well. Definitely. So no matter where you go, there's that danger there, There's that danger element, and we got to start realizing that. And I warned people about that, going out in the woods and all that, and finding some of these ritual sites and all that. They're out in the forest too, doing this stuff. So you have to be very, very cautious and be very careful, because you never know what you're going to run into in these situations.
I'm going to show everybody a photograph of what I mean when I say look for the V symbol. Here's a hospital system. Look for the V symbol.
Valley, yeah.
Wait a second here.
Valley Health.
Slippery finger. Yeah. Slippery fingers. See the V symbol?
Yeah, big V, yeah. Blue. Big V symbol there, yeah. Yep.
The V. That's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I mean. You have to look for that symbol, okay? Because if you're looking for these symbols, then you're going to have a label. That's what we've got to look for. So again, wherever there's missing children, missing young people, wherever there's a heavy homeless population, wherever there's mutilated cattle or mutilated animals, just mysterious disappearances, unsolved murders of drained blood, these are all things that are going to come together. And I guarantee if you can find all 5 of those things, you will find that V with a line in it in a circle, okay, which represents vampire feeding ground is safe. It tells the other vampires and other demons that they can feed there safely and not have to worry about being seen.
It's sort of like the McDonald's symbol, the golden arches this is for vampires. It is their secret language. We've talked about that before, and that's these symbols have meaning for them. They don't have meaning for us because we're not involved in it, but we should know what we're looking at and recognize this when we see it. It's very important that we do.
Yep, exactly. I'm going to get back to the comments here. I'm not going to put any more pictures up, but I want to get back to the comments here. I know I've missed a few.
They appeal. Picture says they will use school, churches, Masonic lodges, etc. for ritual sites. Oh yeah, they utilize a lot of different places for these things.
Yep.
Well, it also says that they are fighting back, and that's good.
Your hospital.
That's good. Yeah.
Yep. But you have to watch your hospital systems too, folks, and make sure that you got to be able to coordinate your ability to interpret the symbolisms. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Um, the whole Pizzagate thing correlates right with this same subject matter. Okay, it's all together. It's all intertwined together. Okay,
Uh-huh.
it's because this world is controlled by the demonic. It's the devil's world. Okay.
Uh-huh. That's what it
Even
is. Yeah.
like I said, even Jesus himself told Satan, told Lucifer, "You are the god of this world."
Uh-huh.
So
And
you
what is
know,
his name? One of his names. You got to remember this, people. The Prince of the Power of the Air. Think about that. That's a very standout kind of a title, isn't it?
yep, yep. But you got to be careful, folks. Okay. This is why we wanted to put out this broadcast tonight. All right.
Uh-huh.
What I found runs deep. Okay. There's a lot of big corporations and businesses that are involved in this.
Uh-huh.
The production of adrenochrome, blood, and then
Library
using the
association,
cadavers
library
for food
associations are
source.
involved. School associations are involved. Parents and teachers associations. It goes on and on and on, people. Okay, you've got to be very careful who you're dealing with and who your children and your grandchildren deal with. Be aware. Be aware. You know of what's going on around you.
Yep. Yep. Red pill, you know.
Also, Sue says they
Yep.
killed over 5,000 old people in nursing homes over lockdown. That's only what we know. That was a lot of that went on too, definitely, and it still goes on. It's still going on. It hasn't stopped. That's
Yep.
another feeding ground
Yep.
for these things, and that's the old folks' homes, the nursing homes, and all that. Perfect feeding grounds for these places. Okay, you got to remember, just like William said at the beginning of this program, we are cattle.
Yep.
We're pawns on the chessboard in this game for them. Okay, and pawns are expendable, folks. That's the way they look at us. We're just cattle. We're a food source. We're
Yep.
a source of energy for
Yep.
them, and it's what they live off of, and it's what they exist with. That's how important that goes with that, and we got to remember that.
Yep. Yep. The one connection I actually made with the elitist, and some of the satanic cults, with the whole vampire cults and the demonic association, is that the human aspect of the reason that they are doing this is
Uh-huh.
not only do they get a thrill out of it, okay, because they think that they're God, but it's also because they are making a lot of money off of organ
Oh,
harvesting,
uh-huh.
hearts, livers, lungs, kidneys. You know, they're
Big
making
business, big business.
eyes. You know,
Uh-huh.
people's eyes.
Uh-huh.
You know, they're
Uh-huh.
making so much money off of the cadavers that the vampire cults and the demonic association
Uh-huh.
don't eat. You know,
Uh-huh.
so you got to understand that's what it's about, and
And here's another
that's why
aspect
the
we need
elitists
to.
are the
here-
elitist.
Here's another talking about the elitist and all that. Here's another aspect of all this we need to consider very closely, and that is the human factor in this. Okay, it's bad enough that we're dealing with these alien, reptilian, demonic entities. Okay, it's bad enough that we're dealing with them, but we also got to realize we're dealing with humans who have sold out to these forces. Okay, people, they're just, if not more dangerous, they're just as dangerous as these entities. Okay, we've got to
Yep.
realize that these people are soulless people. They don't care. They've got untold billions of dollars. They have power. They are seeking immortality. That's like that book I'm writing about right now, the God Factor, the God
Yep.
game. You know, that's what they're playing. They're playing. They want to be gods in this world, and they're hooking up with the demonic to do that. And they don't care who or what
Exactly.
gets in their way. They will remove it.
Exactly. Exactly. And you all got to remember too, why is like Red Pill says here, why is that southern border open? Why? Because you need to move the cattle around. Okay? You need to introduce new cattle to the herd so you can have more to cull from that herd. So,
yep. More food. More food. That's what is going on. More food, more power for them. That's what they're looking for. And you know what? Here's the thing about, we've always heard that old saying that's very true. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It is the worst thing in this world because it hooks you and binds you with chains of darkness to an addiction that is far worse than any cocaine or pornography or gambling or any kind of drug use or liquor use or whatever the case may be. It's far worse than that, people. Power is more addictive than anything across the board and more corrupting in that respect.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what they good at brainwashing.
I just wanted to make sure everybody got that information. Yeah, I wanted to make sure everybody got that information out there. Okay, everybody knows what the symbols to look for. Okay, everybody knows what locations to look for. Look for that symbol around storage units. Okay, look for that symbol around hospitals, abandoned buildings, neighborhoods that have a lot of missing or homeless people. Okay, you have to watch for the symbols. Okay, try.
And let me say this.
Try to recognize that V symbol in a lot of the hospital systems.
And let me say this. William and I are here. For any questions, observations, anything you want to know about, please contact us, okay? And ask us questions. If you got questions, observations, you want to tell us about something, you're not sure about something, look upon us as your encyclopedia to go to, okay? Look upon us as a source of information for you. Get in contact with us if you have questions or whatever the case may be. If something's worrying you right now, I have had just in the last 48 hours 3 cases fall in my lap. Now, I can't talk about them right now, but they're 3 very interesting supernatural paranormal cases. One of them involves definitely demonic activity. I think maybe all of them do, but one of them I definitely know that stuff. This stuff is increasing, okay, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And look upon me and William and Gerald and some of the rest of us that do these shows, like the Cryptid Huntress and all that. Look upon us as your safety valve, okay? Get in touch with us if you need us for anything or ask a question or whatever. We will certainly try to give you the answers. And if we don't have the answers, we'll look for them together, okay? Definitely. And that's what we're here for. And I just want to tell you that you've always got us in your corner in that respect, okay? Don't forget it.
That is the symbols, everybody.
Derek says his mom is a part of a team that spreads awareness of human trafficking.
Okay, that's
good. That's very good. Definitely. We need more people like that. Definitely.
Okay, Derek, that is the symbol right there. Okay, you have the circled V, which basically means it's a vampire area. Okay, it's a safe area for vampires to sleep during the day or whenever. It's a safe place for them to be. And then the V in a circle with the line through it is a safe feeding area where they have the adrenochrome blood supply. Okay, whether it's
and
homeless population, whether it's
also for a cult safe area as well, a vampire cult safe area. That's what that part of as well.
Yep. But that's what they are. And I'm sure that there's more symbolisms as we go along. And as
We'll
I
find
continue
more.
with the investigation, yeah, I'll find more symbolisms that you can use. But if you find that V, okay, look for that V like in that hospital sign that I showed you earlier in the podcast. Look for like a well Pizzagate. Remember the Pizzagate with the missing children, the sexually exploited children, through Point Podesta and the Clintons and all that, and the whole Pizzagate in D.C. thing. The
And you got to
shape
look
of that
close. You got
wedge
to
of
look
pizza.
close sometimes. You look close because it may not be obvious. Okay, real obvious. You got to look close.
Yep. So, but with that being said, I want to thank you all for at least listening and seeing this tonight. It's stuff you need to know. So when you consider vampires, you have to consider the demonic with them, the possibility of aliens with them, reptilians. I mean, they are all literally connected. Okay. Every last one of them are connected. Okay. The satanic cults that are also taking part in this with the humans involved are making money hand over fist off of organ harvesting. Okay. Hearts, lungs, livers, kidneys, eyeballs, you name it. Okay. They are making it.
And
Okay.
don't forget the
And when it
demonic,
comes to
the
aliens,
uh, the demonic alchemy and the demonic science that's going on out there too, folks. We need to do a show on that one night,
yeah,
William. The
yeah,
demonic science, definitely, and warn people about that.
yep, exactly. But I'm telling you, it's all connected. I've connected the dots, and it's all connected financially too through the organ harvesting, and all that money is being channeled through BlackRock. Okay,
Oh yeah.
and Vanguard. Okay, those are the two. Those are the two that are being the ones that are channeling that money. Okay, all that black money, that blood money. Okay, you might as well call it blood money. Okay, because they're taking advantage of innocent lives. Okay, and just because somebody's homeless or someone's a child doesn't mean they should be taken advantage of. Okay,
Sue says
so
it's
with
hard to
that being
believe.
said, I want to thank
Sue James says it's hard to believe vampires are real, but these things are folklore. But that's the good thing about folklore, Sue, is that it has markers that point you to the truth of things that's really going on, and that's why we need to pay more attention to folklore and shows like this, because, like I said, if you have any doubts, any questions, or anything, you know where we're at.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I want to thank everybody for being here. Okay. Hope the good Lord protects you all. Like Dennis said, if you have any concerns or questions, feel free to reach out to us. Okay. Um, my email is lakotaman333@gmail.com. You can reach me there. Okay. Or you can, direct message me on Facebook with a question or a concern. If you have a concern about this subject matter
And you
in
can
your area, let us know. Okay, because
you can reach me on my website, DennisWCarroll.com, or GhostWolfDC@gmail.com. Either one.
and here's something to consider also. Here's something to consider also. Okay, so always think about this. Keep this in the back of your mind. Okay, everybody. There are estimated over 500,000 vampires in our world. Okay, 500,000, a half a million.
I've
Okay,
heard that. Yeah.
there's only four. Yeah, there's only about 400 or 500 people that have the ability to hunt them and kill them.
Mhm.
So we are fighting outrageous numbers. Okay,
And
so
fast odds. Yeah.
if you have any doubts, yeah, if you have any doubts or need anything answered, any questions, please get a hold of us. Okay. So, with that said,
Absolutely.
God bless everybody. I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. Thank you all for watching. Please like, heart, and share this out as much as you can. Okay. Thank you all very much. Have a great night, everybody.